he was a very wealthy man, very wealthy. He lost everything, but he didn't lose his mind. So he went in his mind and he remembered. He said, the things that I had feared had finally happened to me. Meaning that Job had premeditations. He had thought about, oh, perhaps one day I'm going to lose all this. What if this happens? What if that happens? You have fears that your investments will just crumble one day. You have fears that you're not enough. You will never be good enough. One day all this will be gone. He had that fear. He had that conceived thoughts. And so it grew. And eventually it happened. But here's the thing. Here is what you need to know. In the midst of everything, Job had a rectitude, to stay calm and collected. And then he had the fortitude to resist his wife, to shut her up and say, listen, woman, I have integrity and I trust in God. I cannot tell him that he's not all that all of a sudden. I know his capabilities. He gives and he takes. And the wife said, well, all right, whatever. Then she went on to be on TikTok. But here's the thing. If the devil cannot get you, he will just set up people around you to inject a venom called fear inside of you. Fear is the most dangerous weapon ever. That is why God emphasized and said, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of sound mind, boldness. Because he knows what fear is. Fear is a seed. It gets in there. Just a thought. Just like, it gets there. You wipe it off. But you didn't wipe it off so well. And it begins to form. It begins growing and it germinates. That is why you open your mouth and tell someone about a vision, a dream or something. Then they laugh about it and they make a joke of it and don't take it anything serious. And now you have this fear inside of you that perhaps it's not gonna work. And so you relax, and God had dropped $1 million vision in your mind. If God cared so much about them, he could have dropped that thought in their mind. But no, he placed it in your mind for you to write it down and make it a thing. But rather, you hang out. Why must you hang out with them? Why can't you block their number? Why do you sit with them? Must you go out with them? Because you're afraid they might not like you. That's your fear. See, because you don't have that much money right now to lose. Job was another category of, meditation. But for you, you're trying to spring forth. You're trying to grow in life. You're trying to start your journey. Or you're even still clueless. But what do? You sit with chickens and just make noise. Why? Because you have fear that they might not like me if I seem a little bit different. So because of fear of being in your own company, then you stay with the wrong people and they put the wrong thoughts in your mind. And that is your doom. That is your brutal mistake. When everything happened, Job took inventory. He went in his mind that he hadn't lost and said, this was the reason. I had feared that this happened, and eventually it happened. Why don't you sit by yourself and take inventory? Ask yourself, why? Why is this happening? Why has it happened? Was it preventable? Have a two-way conversation with yourself. Sit down, ask yourself questions, and answer those questions by yourself. That is where liberation comes. That is when freedom comes. Don't go asking people that are clueless questions. Asking them, what do you think? Oh, I want to do this. What do you think? They don't know. If they knew better, they would have been doing great things, but they're not doing anything with their life. And then you're seeking for advice from these people. They're not your mentor. They're not even where you're projecting to be. Why do you need validation? Why are you asking them questions? So those are your fears. The things that you allow. Now the devil couldn't get you. Now he uses the people that you sit in the company with and mess you all up. So you're not even going forward. You're just stagnated. For the fear of what? For the fear of not being accepted? Really? You're afraid of living in full potential. So you just walk around all mediocre. Everything about you is so slovenly. I mean, you have some clothes, right? But it's right deep down in the grave of your boxes. Oh, you keep it for a special day. What special day? Tell me. You're afraid of living as God intended for you to live. Your nails, you have cacas under your nails. Your teeth is brown because you're afraid of living. You're afraid to just leave. And then you say, oh, all this is vanity upon vanity. But your phone is not vanity, right? Your TV is not vanity. Why don't you watch the sky? Your car is not vanity. You could have crawled to where you're going to, but you the vessel, you the thing, you in your wholeness, everything about you that has to do with you is vanity upon vanity. So you choose vanity, right? You choose what you call vanity because you're afraid of leaving. And in essence, oh, we're just gonna die. But you're alive and you're walking dead already. There's nothing alive in you. You're alive, but you're dead because you're afraid of leaving. You are afraid of leaving. Live as God intended for you to live. You're afraid to live in fullness and show up every day like God sent you to this earth. So you just remain a mediocre mindset, everything shallow, and you roam around the earth not knowing who you are, not knowing that the only thing stopping you is fear. The resultants of your thoughts and your meditations are exactly what is happening to you as mayhem, mishaps, and all that. So invariably, Job actually took accountability of his thoughts that had led to his misfortune. But here you are putting blames on every other person but yourself, not minding that it was your company, it was your decision, it was the failed attempts, it was the things that you should have done that you never tried to do, knowing fully well that you should do it, and there are consequences if you don't do them. That is your big problem. So Job took inventory. Take inventory today. So in summary, be absolutely careful of what you think about, of what forms in your mind, because you had planted a seed of thought and then it begins to form. So cut it out, resist them. Don't let them take root inside of you. And I hope this blesses you today. Ashley, seriously.